Hey, you guys, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So we're going to be talking about former Teen Mom star Kail Lowry and her two baby daddies, Chris Lopez and Elijah Scott. As I spent a lot of time working on the Gypsy Rose Blanchard interview that she did with Kail Lowry, but the same day that I was working on that, I saw some reports coming out that Kail Lowry's ex, Chris Lopez, was accusing Kail Lowry's current boyfriend, Elijah Scott, of spanking Chris and Kail's kids. There's even a comment that was made that Elijah allegedly put his hand around one of the boys' neck. Chris Lopez has been speaking out about this on his Snapchat as well as his Instagram account. He's went live and talked about it. And he apparently reached out to CPS, the police, and he is saying that they have done nothing to help him. So we're going to talk about it because he is literally like coming out with the claims. He is saying that there is video. He's talking about video. He's like 5+ videos. Now I have 8 videos. And I think what he's saying is he has videos of maybe, the boys talking about it. Obviously, I don't think he's saying he has video evidence of Elijah physically assaulting the kids. I'm assuming he just means that what he has video evidence of is the boys talking about this. Okay. So I first caught wind of this over on Teen Mom Chatter on Instagram. I'm going to show you guys some posts that Chris Lopez made. Oh my goodness, my light's going crazy in the background. Okay. Sorry, guys. So we're going to go over where Chris Lopez started talking about it. Now, I want to remind you guys that Chris Lopez made this same claim 4 months ago. 4 months ago, Chris Lopez said that Elijah had hit one of his kids. Let me bring that up really quickly. The post that he made 4 months ago. Okay. So this was 4 months ago that he posted this. If you ever find yourself trying to discipline another man's kid by putting your hands on them, griping them up, grabbing, smacking, plucking, and that man finds out and still respectfully tries to have a conversation with you, and you say you feel you don't have a point or don't owe him that, you a bitch. Now, after this came out, outlets reported on it. People talked about it. I think I did a video on it. I want to say Grace Report did a video on it. It was talked about, right? But everything kind of died down after a couple of days of him posting this. Well, this past week, he has started posting more. And like I said, he even went live on Instagram. We're going to watch 2 clips of his live streams where he talks about this, okay? And shout out to Teen Mom Chatter because she's who recorded this. And that's how I'm able to watch it, to share with you guys.
I seen a post from Chatter. People were hitting me up like, "Did you see that?" I did. I did, and it's one of those things where I saw it, and there was like 2 things that popped in my head. There's like 2 things, you know what I mean? And the first thing that popped in my head is how can't people see it? It's plain as day now. It's obvious as hell. You see it. You know what I mean? And then 2, this is my whole thing. And I know I spoke and I said I'm not going to stay quiet no more, and I'm not. I am going to tell my truth. I'm going to say, what bothers me and things like that. I will speak up. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it in the manner that I've been doing it. When your emotions are high, and you're angry, upset, you feel let down. You know what I mean? But I just want to ask y'all a question again. As a parent, I'm going to ask parents. If you're a parent or anyone, if if you watch kids, if you feel for kids, if you do anything. Let me ask you this question though. Again, I asked questions the other day, and I want to ask these questions again that I never asked. How would you feel if you came into possession of a letter, a note that a grown man wrote to unalive himself, and he wrote this note to his unborn child? How comfortable would you feel to find out that that is what happened, and then your children are being left in the care of this individual? And then on top of that, now claims of you plucking, hitting, grabbing. How comfortable would you feel as a parent? Who in their right mind would think it's okay to leave children in the care of someone like that? So again, when people talk about being transparent, that's what needs to be talked about.
Okay, so he mentions this note. He says, how many of you guys will be comfortable with your children being left with a man who some time ago wrote a note to his unborn child saying that he was going to unalive himself? And Chris is saying he has this note now. I don't know if he's claiming this is a note that Elijah wrote to maybe one of his unborn kids, maybe in a time of when he was going through it, that he wrote, I don't know, or if it's somebody else that Kail has left the kids with, because Kail recently, they were in Madrid for the boys to play soccer, and they left Creed and Lux here with someone, and Chris says not with him. They were with somebody else. Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you. Or Anitra, thank you. So he never says who he's talking about in regards to this note. He just says, parents, how would you feel if you found out that your kids was being left with a man that wrote his unborn child a note talking about how he was going to unalive himself? Would you want your kids being left with that man? And of course, the chat was like, oh, hell no, I wouldn't. But he never says specifically it was Elijah. But then he goes into talking about hitting, smacking, plucking. And when he's saying plucking, I didn't know what he meant at first, but I think he's talking about thumping. That's what I think he is meaning, because in a minute he's going to talk about this. He's going to do that. So, yeah, and Elijah was with Kail. So I don't know if he's referencing someone else that the kids were left with, or if he's just talking about, because one thing we do know is Elijah's left with the kids at times. Kail works, so Elijah does keep the kids at times. So maybe he's referencing that. Either way, let's continue.
That's what's being pushed under the rug, because when you present that to the people you feel as though you need to present that to, they try to disclaim it and say it's not relevant, or it's not this, or it's not that. And I'm saying, how is it not? When I tried to justify and show you the pattern, mental health, now grabbing, there's a pattern. It's a safety concern. That's where all this frustration comes from, because as a concerned parent, someone who truly cares about their children, you think I give a fuck about a photo of my children laying on someone? I could care less. I could care less about that, because I'm more concerned about what's going on that's not being shown and what's not being talked about.
Okay, and in reference to the photo that he's talking about, so after Chris made the post the other day accusing Elijah of getting physical with his kids, Kail posted a photo of Creed laying with Elijah, and Elijah was reading Creed a book, and Creed's like hand over, cuddled with Elijah. So some people was like, oh, you're just mad because you see your kid hugged up with Kail's boyfriend. Like, oh, you're just mad because your kids love this man, so you're acting out, whatever. So he's saying, no, that's not it. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care that photo does not make me anything. I want to speak about the things that we're not seeing. So that's what he's talking. And I'll show you guys the photo in a minute.
Y'all see it all the time, and that's what I'm saying. Your eyes are open now, right? You see the amount of times they travel. Children ain't with them. So they're being left in the care of someone. Ain't me. So that's what I'm saying. Don't look at me like I really haven't been paying attention to comments because I've been in my own head for the last few days. I've been in my own head. Been thinking, trying to figure out how do I go about this? What do I do? And I come to the decision of what I'm going. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to move on. And it's fucked up that you got to move on. And you got to treat it as if like, oh, all right, you just got to move on. You're going to drive yourself crazy because you didn't get it. Cool. I was talking to someone like in a father's group that I'm in. And we're talking about this. And he was like, you're trying to be logical when this shit isn't logical. You're trying to be logical and reasonable when that's not a logical or reasonable thing, especially in the eyes of the court. They don't think logical. The court, and we talked about it, courts are corrupt and they're money-based. And you see it all the time when you go into court, when you by yourself in the court, and the lawyers and the judges, they be making these little remarks and they smile at each other and they this and that. You see it all the time. I've been dealing with this shit for almost 8 years now. I see it all the time.
I'm going to speak on that. And this isn't me choosing anybody's side. I have seen this so much. When I was falsely arrested, I saw that. Like lawyers that's supposed to be helping you that are BFFs with the lawyers that represent the people that you're suing. There was a situation not too long ago where I become enmeshed in the situation, a legal situation, not for me, not at all for me, but someone that I'm close to. And it was crazy because the person, their lawyer that was supposed to be representing them, literally BFFs with the other lawyer or the prosecution. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, that is exactly how it works, especially in small towns. All the lawyers, the defense lawyers, they know the prosecution. They know the DA. They're friends. They go golfing together. They go to dinner together. They go to charity events together. They know the judges. Like they all work together. It's just what it is. And a lot of times what that means for us is that we don't get justice, unfortunately.
You go in there and you know you're not getting a fair chance. One, your skin color. Two, lawyers versus non-lawyers. We all know lawyers and judges got relationships. You also admitted to hitting your own child when they were much younger. You talking about when I said I popped my son on the ass? I popped him. A little pop. It's a little pop on the ass. But I can admit that. I said it. I spoken. But guess what? I'm his child. I'm his parent. I'm his parent. I popped him in his ass, right? But a man that got no relation, no nothing. And these ain't just corrections. How many people can correct people without putting their hands on them? You throwing dirt on a child? You don't gotta pluck a child, right? And if you pluck, let me ask you this question. If you pluck a child hard enough to make them cry, do y'all think it was a simple tap to say, hey, stop doing something? Or was it enough to make them hurt? That's where it's like y'all got a sickness, bro. Y'all got a sickness. Y'all are trying to defend shit, make excuses. I seen people try to say that my child is over exaggerating and this and that. And trust me, I have seen that. But when you know your children, when y'all know your children, parents are allowed to discipline and spank their children. Why was it okay when we were growing up, but not now? Please, y'all. Don't get you upset. No. I'm not upset, bro. I just read and I see things. And like I said, I already reached a place where I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. You accepted things. You know what I mean? Regardless if they're fair or not. You kind of accepted things. And this is what I was trying to explain. Even when I seen the post with my child, I said, and my first thought I thought in my head was, and I think somebody even posted about it. They said, now, this is the reason why. Now, if he was to just say, you know what, I don't want to do these games no more and sign off on his rights, he would be to blame though, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what people don't understand. Y'all, I don't understand how y'all can sit here and try to justify people using children, and then y'all want them to be okay with it. Everybody that tries to justify this shit or make excuses or anything, imagine if that was your child. I want y'all to put yourself in your children's shoes, no matter what. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. Put yourself in my shoes right now. That's all. I got hundreds and hundreds of people texting me, reaching out to me, and it's like everybody's like, "I hope you're good, stay strong." I'm weak as fuck. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? How you supposed to be so strong in a time where you got sucker punched? If it was my child, I would talk to my baby daddy. I will not only listen to my child. After so many times, I agree, right? Talk to the parents. When you have talked to the parents, you got proof that the parents will take the other person's side, even though you got proof that what is being said is actually true. So at that point, how much talking to the other parent can you do? Hey, talk to the parents. You should, not just the kids. What happens when it's multiple videos, though? What happens if it's multiple? More than one, more than three?
What does that mean, though?
So again, at what point do you let your children, that we let the children know that they are safe, that the stuff that they tell us, we take serious? Because now, as a parent, my son may look at me and say, I don't trust you now. You couldn't protect me after I told you what was going on. How y'all think as a father, my job, y'all know what my job is what I take as my job as for my kids? I'm the protector. I take my job as a protector serious. So again, my children are telling me basically things, because my children don't make up bullshit. My children are rough. And anybody knows my children are rough. They wrestle. So the fact that my child had to come back to me after a trip and told me that, and was remembered enough to say somebody grabbed me by my neck. You know how many times my son wrestles and slams people?
But I just wonder if like they were wrestling. Like if it was like, it's so hard with kids because kids sometimes they will get their feelings hurt and they may. I've seen it with my own kids. Literally, let me tell you guys, my older two kids are not by my husband. Their dad is a guy that I dated, my high school sweetheart, from 12 to 21. And there were times that me and my husband would be, getting on to my daughter, and right before she goes to her dad's house, then she goes to her dad's house and she's like, Mommy and Sean are mean. They're mean to me. They put me in my room. And then you got dad over there who, is thinking, or, sometimes they might make it out a little bit more harsh. They took my TV out of my room. Well, yeah, we took the TV out of her room because she was threatening to swoop it off the dresser. She had her hand on it, like looking at us, like acting like she was going to push it. I paid for that TV. So, yeah, I took it out of her room because I'm not going to let her tear it up. Yes, she got sent to her room because she was mouthing off. But, kids will get upset with you when you try to be a parent, and they will go to their other parents and they will kind of exaggerate things or kind of make it I can't tell you guys how many calls I got from their dad, not even their dad, but their dad's mom getting on to me because I put my child in their bedroom as a form of punishment. What you want me to do? Let them sit in the living room with me, like running their mouth? I don't think so. So it does happen. And listen, I know my kids too. And, at first I just was like, nah, surely their dad is just like overreacting. But then I had to learn, like, no, my kid was being a little manipulative. because they was mad at mommy and stepdad when they left. So they went to dad's house and kind of, exaggerated things. And it's hard to come to that place to be like, oh, well, because kids don't think about the long-term effects. They don't think of how it's going to affect the other parent when they think that stepdad and mom is being mean to their child. They don't think about that. They just know their feelings hurt. They upset because mommy and stepdad got on to them. So they're gonna go tattle. They're not thinking about it. And as an adult, we don't think about that. We just want to be like, there's no way my kid would exaggerate that. There's no way my kid would say that and lie. But that's can be the kid's perception is that mommy and daddy were being mean or mommy and stepdaddy were being mean. So it is very hard to navigate, having a step parent because the step parent is there and they do all the things. They take you to practice. They go pick you up from practice. They throw the baseball with you. Their money contributes to paying for things you want to do, but then they're not allowed to say anything to you because the second they say something to you, well, then real dad is jumping in upset about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very hard situation to navigate being in that role of step parent. My husband has been there for 16 years and it's been difficult at times.
You gonna get slammed and doesn't say anything? Might cry a little bit or whatnot. Do you have a copy of the letter? Yes, I do have a copy of the letter. So again, when y'all over here making comments about this type of stuff, and that's what I kind of want to say, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the post I was making where I'm like, yo, I'm about to, if you got me in your corner, you feel me? If you got me in your corner, really appreciate that shit, because I'm really about to dip out on people. I really truly mean that shit, bro. Like, I'm really like, this social media shit, I'm about to dip. I'm out. I don't want to do this shit no more. I want to get these books out. Like, that's how much, like, to the point where I want to get these books out, and that's it. Get these books out, and I'm done. I'm done with social media. Y'all can have this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm to the point now where I like, when I truly say I don't care, I don't care. So when I saw the picture today, I did not care. I was like, it is what it is. They want me out of their life so fucking bad. They want to do shit like that. They're trying to push this man onto my children. They could push me. They want me out my kids' lives so fucking bad, bro. So fucking bad.
Sorry for the cursing, guys.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know they want me out of their lives because any person that really wanted to get into they really wanted their children to have a relationship with they don't do that type of shit. You don't do this type of stuff. I don't care, even for the man that wrote that own note. I hope you never go through what I go through. Even though you took the stand, even though you did all this, I hope they never have to go through this. Ever. Because if you wrote that without going through what I'm going to do, I guarantee I know what's going to happen if you go through what I'm going through. Because you mentally ain't as strong as me. No way in hell. Fuck that. I don't need no apologies. And that's the craziest thing in my heart right now, bro. Craziest thing in my heart is how I want to forgive. Not her, him. Craziest thing in my heart, bro. I want to forgive this man.
Well, that's good.
People ask me if I'm. I say no. Harm hurt me yesterday. I'm broken. You know what I'm saying? That nigga is broken.
This is not my recording, but she was leaving, so she had to fix it.
On it, not like broken, like, oh, I'm done, I'm giving up. Not like damn. Like, damn, bro. I don't really feel good. Right now, though, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. I'm about to take a needed break, just from everything, life included. Not like anything crazy. It's just like I'm really about to just get myself together and pop back out. And that's it. You know what I mean? I don't have nothing to hide. I don't have nothing to, none of that shit. I'm honest, open, and transparent about anything. And I'm too real for the bullshit that's going on. You know what I mean? And I'll say that. Don't give up. The system is corrupt. It's all about money. Yeah, I know. But everybody can say don't give up, don't give up. But if you're not in my shoes, it's not that easy. If you're literally not living in my shoes, if you're not going through what I'm going, telling me not to give up is way easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that sucks is I'm getting all these encouraging words, but I feel you don't feel what I feel. So the words don't mean nothing in a sense. And I mean no disrespect to anybody. But if you don't know this, I'm getting choked up a little bit. If you don't
And it's a hard situation to be in because he probably really thinks that his kids listen, it takes a lot to understand. I'm 37 years old. My daughter will be 20 in March. I have a 17-year-old, 7 kids. My youngest is 7. And when this first started happening to me, where my daughter would go and like tell her parents or her grandparents that me and stepdaddy was being mean to her, I'm literally like one of the most lax parents ever. But my husband, we kind of balance each other out because my husband's military and I'm super lax. So we can kind of balance each other out. But because they were used to mama being so lax, when stepdaddy's like, no, we don't need to do that. Oh, we got to meet stepdad. We got to meet stepdad. We got to meet stepdad. And it's really hard to come to the understanding and acknowledge that, you know what, my kid did go and tell their dad that mommy was mean and stepdaddy was mean. Not because they wanted me to get in trouble necessarily, but kids just, you know, want to get that attention and go to dad and say, "Oh, mommy was being mean to me." So maybe daddy will love on them more, or maybe daddy will defend them. But they don't think, kids do not think of the effects that it really could have, you know, because there was a situation where my older kid's dad literally tried to keep my daughter, tried to keep her, and under the claims that me and my husband was mean to. You could ask anybody in my family. I am the most nicest parent, aunt out of my sisters, out of like anybody in my family. Like I get teased because I am so lax, pretty much. So when my older kid's dad tried to keep my daughter, saying, "Oh, it's because me and my husband was mean," I was like, "This is crazy. Like you're gonna have to find something else to come up with because if we go to court with this, you will never, ever, ever win." To try to say that we're mean to these kids, So thankfully, I was able to get her back within a few hours, and it put her in a weird position because she knew she had, and that's when I had to accept it on the way home. And I have this talk with her, and she's like, "Well, remember when you got on to me for this? Well, I text dad and, I told him about it. And, it hurts your feeling as a mom to be like, wow, you went and told on me. Like you had this man, your dad, believing that I'm some big bad monster and that me and your stepdad who love and do way more for you than this man even does. We are your parents. Like me and stepdad are your parents. And we are super active in your life, whereas this man is in your life like 5% of the time. So it can be very hurtful to realize that. But kids are kids and they don't think like adults. They don't understand the consequences of when they maybe go and tell their dad that mom and step. I'm not saying it's not true. I don't know what's true. I don't know what is not true, but we'll talk more into that in a little bit because Kail has openly been very open about how she's against spanking. Kail has talked about that on her podcast. She has talked about it. She's not a spanker. So I do wonder, like, if she's not a spanker and she's been very public about the fact that she is not a spanker, would she come in and let this boyfriend of hers spank her kids? I don't know. But let's continue listening to what he has to say.
Chatter I seen a post from Chatter. People were hitting me up like, "Did you see that?" I did.
All right.
I'm dealt a shitty hand, but I'm not going to let it break. I'm not going to let it break me. And I tell everyone, you may be faced with some of the most difficult shit. And I'm talking to my people, and they telling me, Kristen, and I'm like, fuck y'all, fuck this, I don't care, this and that. I ain't giving up.
Sorry
I'm not giving up.
Sorry about the language, guys.
Tears in my eyes, and no, I would never give up. That's what people don't understand. I will fight until the day I die. And I tell that for every single person. Do not give up despite your situation. 1,000,001, don't give up. Don't give up. Them motherfuckers are waiting for the day I lay down and say I'm done. They waiting for it. I'll never do it. I'm dealt a shitty hand, but I'm not going to let it break. I'm not going to let it break me. And I tell everyone, you may be faced with some of the most difficult shit. And I'm talking to my people, and they telling me, Kristen, and I'm like, fuck y'all, fuck this, I don't care, this and that. I ain't giving up.
Sorry.
I'm not giving up. Tears in my eyes, and no, I would never give up. That's what people don't understand. I will fight until the day I die. And I tell that for every single person. Do not give up despite your situation. 1,000,001, don't give up. Don't give up. Them motherfuckers are waiting for the day I lay down and say I'm done. They waiting for it. I'll never do it. I'm dealt a shitty hand, but I'm not going to let it break. I'm not going to let it break me. And I tell everyone, you may be faced with some of the most difficult shit. And I'm talking to my people, and they telling me, Kristen, and I.
Okay, so that's the gist of what he says. He says that, you know, his kids are coming to him and telling him these things. That arm around the neck, flicking like this, spanking. That's what he is accusing Elijah of doing. And he said that he tried to have a conversation with Elijah, but basically he was told, I don't know you a conversation. Like, I don't have to talk to you about anything. When he first put this out there, he apparently tried to go talk to Elijah, and Elijah would not speak to him or whatever. And it seems like he tried to get the police involved and CPS, because he made posts saying like CPS and the police won't do anything to help me. We're going to read some of his, let's see. But Kail did. She posted a photo of Elijah with one of the boys. This photo. Well, you guys think that photo right there. She posted that photo. So basically, this was after Chris made the post the other day. She posted this to basically be like, well, clearly he's not too scared of Elijah because he's laying wrapped up with Elijah, you know. Let's see. All right, so this was one of the posts that he made. Explain to me how you are supposed to protect your child when the court, CPS, or police do nothing about it, but your children are coming to you in confidence. What the F are you supposed to do? What the are you supposed to do? I don't even put my hands on my children, so why the F should another man? Here's another post. Bear with me. You can see. All right. Nobody can understand my frustration. No one can understand what it's been like. You have a caring father wanting to be in his kids' lives, but has to go through the absolute most. Children can tell you multiple times that a grown man is putting their hands on them, and it was downplayed every single time. And just coming from someone that has gone through this, I can tell you, my kid now will tell you that looking back, she definitely saw it for worse than what it really was at the time. So when she went to her grandma or her dad, you know, she made it sound like the absolute worst. So, you know, maybe Kail and Elijah being the adults there, they're like, dude, it was not like that. It was not, you know, it wasn't like that. So, I don't know. You mean to tell me out of 5+ videos, 5 different times, and he's making it up or exaggerating? Ask yourself as a parent, your job is to protect, correct? If your child came to you claiming anything of another adult putting their hands on them, how would you feel? How would you react? How can such things be overlooked when the child is just away for 2 weeks and immediately told me as soon as he saw me, no matter how you try to spin it, it obviously bothered the child enough to remember and vocalize it. And here's the thing with that is I think from what it seems like Chris is saying, he heard about it. He tried to contact Kail and Elijah to talk to them about it. He was shut down. They said it's not that big of a deal, and I guess refused to talk about it after that. So at that point, I don't really know what I would do if this was me in that situation, and my kids were coming to me saying my dad or his wife is putting hands on me. I would obviously contact them and say we need to talk. What's happening to get the information? However, if they told me I don't know you anything, I don't have to talk to you, that would be another story. Then I would be like, "Wait a second. Yes, you do. Our kids, they're coming to me telling me that your boyfriend's hitting them and getting physical with them. Can you walk me over the events that happened? Because my kid said this happened. Tell the event of what Creed told you." And then say, "Kail, do you know what he's talking about there?" Maybe Kail can explain and say, "Well, this is what happened, and it wasn't exactly that way, but he's a child, so it probably was a bigger deal to him than it really was for us." You know, if you don't have the conversations, I mean, Kail may know exactly what incidences that Chris knows about, and she might could explain them and say, "This is actually what happened." And they could be like, Chris could be like, "Oh, okay, well, I understand that." But if you're refusing to even talk and saying, "I don't owe you an explanation," then at that point, I don't know how I respond to that. I would be very upset. I would, I would expect, just like I feel like if I was putting myself in Kail's position and the boys were with Chris and his girlfriend allegedly did something. And they came back and said, "Daddy's girlfriend spanked me." Well, if I was Kail, I would contact Chris and say, "Hey, this is what they're telling me. We need to talk. What happened?" And I would give Chris the opportunity to explain the situation. And if he said, "I don't owe you anything, I'm not telling you," there would be an issue. Yes, Ashley, the P.O Box 1 in Florien, that is the best address for me. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so yeah, he said, even after being gone for 2 weeks, immediately told me when he saw me, no matter how you try to spin it, it's obviously bothered the child enough to remember and vocalize it. And here's another one. "We knew this was going to happen. LOL. 8 videos of evidence of children speaking against the acts against them and still grant the other party what they want. Tell me this isn't a corrupt system and that money don't play a part." So it seems like he did like try to take her to court or something to maybe get more rights, to maybe try to bring up these allegations. I'm not sure. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Happy holidays, L, to you and yours. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this. I just thought about it. But YouTube has this new thing where you can set a goal, kind of like TikTok. I did it. I don't know. You can set a goal. Or if you have so many super chats, you can agree to do something. So I think I either set a goal of 5 or 10. No, 10 super chats. We'll do a special live stream, a Q&A, but you guys don't have to do it. It's just something fun. And I was like, I'll try it. Oh, thank you. But yeah, if we do get it, I'll do a special live stream like Thursday and do like a Q&A and just hang out. If not, not a big deal. I still need to do hangouts because I haven't done one in a while. So thank you so much. All right, so it seems like he did at minimum try to go to court and nothing happened. That's what I'm assuming. Now, here's the thing. Kail has talked several times about being against spanking. So it makes me wonder, would she allow her boyfriend to spank? I don't know. Chris admitted in that video because someone said, "Aren't you the one that admitted to spanking your child?" And he said, "Yes, I did. And I have spanked my child." So I was like, where did this happen? When did he admit to spanking his child and in what context? So I found the video where he did admit to spanking Creed. So we'll listen.
compare Lux Terrible Twos
Mhm.
to Creed's,
Mhm.
and what do you see in your mind that makes it so different? And I would try to
Creed
compare that
don't,
to
bro. Lux didn't have terrible twos, bro. He didn't really do. Yo, Creed is a menace. Creed
So
bully.
explain
He's a
what's the difference?
bully.
Okay.
He don't care. He don't listen. He'll look dead at me, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Lux, you can give your kids the look and they know. Like, don't get me wrong. I give Creed the look and he know he'll stop. But then he'll do this. He'll stop and he'll look like this nigga got me fucked up. Right? He give you that look.
Okay, so I want to mention this was a year ago. This podcast was put out like a year ago, where Chris himself says Lux was not a problem. Creed is a menace. Creed is difficult. So you gotta think about this. You know, Kail and Elijah are at their house with 7 kids. 2 twins that are new. You know, Rio that is just 9 months older. 7 kids that they have. And I guess you know, Creed is the one that is all over the place, that don't listen, that you can't give him that look and he'll behave. He'll still do what he was, you know, threatening to do the second you turn away. So he is admitting that Creed is that child that is difficult and that he has even had to spank him due to this. So I'm like, would I want step parents spanking my child? No. But if I know that my child is very difficult, that I've had to do it, that I have done it in the past, then I'm going to also kind of be like, okay, I know my child is a rough child. And I'm going to have that conversation to, hey, try to do something else rather than that. And I would do the same. I'm not, I don't like spanking either. Like, I'm one of those moms. Listen, I grew up and I got spanked, but I am with 7 kids. I've never been one. You know how they say spanking hurts the parent worse than it hurts the child? I believe that wholeheartedly. It hurts me, so I can't do it. Like I'm not a spanking parent. But anyways, let's continue.
Look, like this nigga got me fucked up, right? And then he just go back to doing it. I'm like, yo, bro. And he'll do it when you driving, so you can't really be like, yo. So then say you're in the crib. Boy, it's been times where you got like popping, you know, like you really got pop, and it doesn't do nothing to this boy. Like,
Okay, yeah.
he dead ass, bro.
The fact that you just said that's Mozzie.
No, but he dead ass is like, he don't even react like, yo, like he don't even react like,
he might
cry.
Just look at you like,
he
bro,
look at you, yeah, like he look at me like, yo, did you really just hit me, bro? Like, what's up with you?
Did I just feel something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, he look at you like, and I'm like, yo, what the? I'm
Mhm.
like, yo. So then it's like, all right, you really trying me. All right.
So a year ago, he admitted himself that Creed was, you know, a typical child, that he himself has spanked him. So it really does suck, in my opinion, that they can't just come together and talk about the situation. If Creed is still struggling with, you know, not listening, and maybe Elijah has done it, Elijah can say, "Listen, dude, you know yourself. Creed is hard to deal with, and I've been at this house, and yes, I've popped him on the butt a couple times, or you know, or even the flick it. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe the flick was a joke, because my husband has a joke with our kids. He does it to me too, where if I like stub my toe or something, I'm like, oh my God, I hurt my toe. He's like, come here, let me see. And when I get over there, he'll say, does it hurt when I thump it? And he'll thump us. Does it hurt when I thump it? And it's a joke. And, you know, we know it. But could I see like, if he was a step parent to my 7-year-old right now, them running to their dad and being like, he licked me on my hurt toe, you know, like, yeah, because kids, unfortunately, they just sometimes don't see things the way that we intend them. So honestly, the best thing that they can do is talk and be open with each other, even if y'all don't like each other, because it's not going to go anywhere good. You know, airing it on the internet. Chris is following now, thinking that Elijah is some abusive, mean stepfather, or Kail's people thinking that Chris is a lying bomb or whatever. It's not gonna do anything to talk about it publicly on the internet. The best that they could do, my dad could knock us over with a thump. That's funny. Yeah, the best that they could do though is just, he has his concerns, and I think Kail should talk to him. They should set up a meeting where they should go somewhere and talk, even if they need a mediator. And Chris can voice his concerns, because Chris wholeheartedly, apparently 1,000% thinks that this man is hitting his children out of anger, to be mean. That's what he thinks. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't know, but that's what Chris thinks. And I can say a lot of men, if that's what they thought was happening, they may not want to talk to the stepdad. They might just show up at the house, want to throw hands with the stepdad. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, I reached out to try to talk, and I was basically told, I don't know you an explanation. But these are his kids too. So, yeah, of course I think you do. Just if the same thing happened, if it was a reverse situation, to where if the kids came home from Chris and say Chris's girlfriend hit them or Chris's mom hit them, Kail will want to talk to Chris and find out what happened. So it sucks that they're not communicating to figure out what's happening, because it could be just a simple misunderstanding where Creed is exaggerating the situation. And Kail and Elijah, could explain the real situation to Chris, and they could come to an understanding of what's happening. Because it very well could be Creed exaggerating the situation, because it's more, it's a bigger situation to him versus what it really is. Popping is different than plucking a kid in the South. Flicking your fingernail hard on the child's forehead. See, he said popping and plucking, but we didn't know what plucking was, because this is thumping to me. So I just watched an interrogation where somebody killed a step parent over that. Whoa. I didn't get a lot of spankings. My dad could say, I'm so disappointed in you, and it felt like my world was crushed. Yeah, that's how my dad was. My mom, she grew up getting spanked. We got spanked. My dad was not a spanker. I'm more like my dad. Mm-mm. The lack of communication with Kail and Chris is definitely an issue. It's hard, though. I get it. My ex and I struggle to communicate. Exactly. Yeah, they've had a very toxic relationship, because they have physically assaulted each other. Kail and Chris have been abusive to each other. So what book is he talking about? So Chris actually wrote a book called Dad, I Love You, I think. Let me see. And it's about to be released. Some people also think that maybe this is being brought up due to the book being about to be released. I don't know. I would hope nobody would use a situation like this just to talk about a book or to promote a book. Yeah, Dad, I Love You. So this is it. Christopher Lopez. So that's his 3 kids. Yeah. I forget where she even found that Chris got college. They met in college. When your parenting is in question and you have multiple baby daddies, I bet Kail's life is stressful. I bet so too. Because, right now she's not really getting along with Joe and B. Her and Javi are so all over the place. And then her and Chris don't seem to ever get along. Yeah. Wasn't Kail and Javi abusive towards each other as well? I think Javi was more like mentally and emotionally, in my opinion. And Kail, yes, she did box Javi up on TV one time. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the situation? At the end of the day, kids have their perception of things, and sometimes it may not always be what the adult's intent is. So the best thing they could do is talk about it. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it seems like Chris did maybe contact the police, CPS. It seems like something happened at court, because he said they didn't care, and that money obviously is everything. So do these kids all have different last names? I would have named them all with my last name. So yes. Yes. I think one of the kids has Chris's last name, but the other one does not, I think. Elle, what did the note he was referring to say? So he was talking about a note that a man wrote when he had a baby on the way, and the man wrote a note to his unborn child explaining why he was going to unalive himself. That I guess this guy was planning to unalive himself, had a baby on the way, so he wrote a note to the baby about why he did it. And he was just saying, would you let your children be left alone with a man that wrote a note to his unborn child saying that? Would you let your children babysit? And I don't know if he's talking about Elijah or if he's talking about somebody else that Kail uses to babysit. I'm not sure. I have no idea because he never is specific to that. Whatever happened to Natalie, the nanny, her and Kail parted ways. They don't get along anymore. Anyways, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. What do you guys think about this? Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. My goal was before Christmas, but we're going to shoot for next Christmas. Thank you so much, NRM15, for the super chat. It is so greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh, hit the thumbs up button on the way out. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, so hit the thumbs up button.